Sziasztok! Boldog új évet! I hope you're doing well and you're ready for an amazing 2025. Now, let's kick off this year by looking at one of the most important verbs in any language, the verb to be. As you can expect, in Hungarian, it takes a bit more than just looking up this verb in your dictionary, popping it in a sentence and hoping for the best. But that's why you're here, and that's why I am here for you, to guide you through the different forms of the verb to be and to show you some examples of how to use this verb. All right? Let's do it. This time I'll focus on the present tense, but at the end of the video, I will give you all the past and future forms as well. So here are the present forms of the verb to be in Hungarian. Én vagyok. I am. Te vagy. You are. Ő van. He, she, or it is. Mi vagyunk. We are. Ti vagytok. You are in the plural. Ők vannak. They are. I've put the asterisk next to van and vannak to signal that in certain sentences, when we use is or are in English, van and vannak are actually omitted in Hungarian. So we don't use them. You won't see these words in the sentences. Now I'm going to give you some sentence examples for all the present forms so you can see them in context. If you're new to Hungarian, you might be surprised to see or hear that én, te, ő, mi, ti, ők, so I, you, he, she, we, they, are actually missing from most of these sentences. This is because in Hungarian, the ending of a verb actually signals the personal pronoun. Okay, so you know whether we're talking about I, you, he, she, and so on. We only use the personal pronouns when we want to emphasize them. Vagyok. Magyar vagyok. Magyar vagyok. Azt hiszed, hogy hülye vagyok? Azt hiszed, hogy hülye vagyok? Nem vagyok túl jól. Nem vagyok túl jól. Although it's not the focus of this video, it's interesting and useful to note the word order in Hungarian, as opposed to the English translation. If you translate Hungarian sentences word by word, you're likely to end up sounding like Master Yoda from Star Wars. Let's just take the first example. Magyar vagyok.
Hungarian I am.
Join the dark side, and I'll teach you about the force of the Hungarian word order.
Moving on to Vagy, you are. Hogy vagy? Hogy vagy? Te magyar vagy? Te magyar vagy? Van. He, she, or it is. Now, van can also mean to have, or there is, there are, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole this time. Hol van a buszmegálló? Hol van a buszmegálló? Béla a konyhában van. Béla a konyhában van. Milyen nap van ma? Milyen nap van ma? Now here's the tricky bit that I mentioned earlier. We don't use van or vannak when we talk about adjectives, names, nationality, age, or professions. All right, so here are some examples. Ő Eszter. Ő Eszter. A fogászom lengyel. A fogászom lengyel. Apa mérges. Apa mérges. Sanyi 35 éves. Sanyi 35 éves. A barátom pincér. A barátom pincér. Over to the plural forms. Mi vagyunk. Jó barátok vagyunk. Jó barátok vagyunk.
Good friends we are.
Nem vagyunk nyitva. Nem vagyunk nyitva. Otthon vagyunk már. Otthon vagyunk már. Ti vagytok. You guys are. Ti vagytok az elsők. Ti vagytok az elsők. Teljesen hülyék vagytok. Teljesen hülyék vagytok. And last but not least, ők vannak. They are. Hol vannak a kanalak? Hol vannak a kanalak? Itt vannak a gitárjaim. Itt vannak a gitárjaim. A szüleid jól vannak? A szüleid jól vannak? Similarly to van, we don't always use vannak. Here are some examples. A kutyák még kicsik. A kutyák még kicsik. A fiúk nem éhesek. A fiúk nem éhesek. Hány évesek a gyerekeid? Hány évesek a gyerekeid? Szerinted ők magyarok? Szerinted ők magyarok? Now, I can't leave you without mentioning one of the numerous tricky aspects of this beautiful language, namely talking to people in second person singular and plural, that is you and you guys. You might have heard that in Hungarian there's a formal and an informal you. As a general rule, you use the informal version, so in this case Vagy and Vagytok, with friends, family, colleagues, people you know well. And you use the formal version, Van or Vannak, with mostly anyone else. Again, I don't want to go into the details and the rules. I, as a Hungarian myself, I don't always know which form to use. But, you as a foreign speaker, you will get away with using either one. People won't get offended if you use the informal version instead of the formal one. I think most people will appreciate the effort that you actually try to speak Hungarian to them. All in all, the formal versions of Vagy and Vagytok are Van and Vannak. But you might ask, aren't those the forms of he is and they are? And you're actually correct. I know this might look confusing at first, so I'll just give you the formal examples of the informal ones that I've told you before. Hogy van? Hogy van? Ön magyar? Ön magyar? Önök az elsők. Önök az elsők. Önök teljesen hülyék. Önök teljesen hülyék. And that will conclude my rambling about the verb to be in Hungarian. Actually, if you want to use the infinitive form to be, then it is Lenni. I'll give you some examples of this, alright? Miért nem akarsz itt lenni? Miért nem akarsz itt lenni? De jó magyarnak lenni. De jó magyarnak lenni. As promised, I'll let you know the past and the future forms of lenni. So here are the past forms. Én voltam. Én voltam. Te voltál. Te voltál. Ő volt. Ő volt. Mi voltunk. Mi voltunk. Ti voltatok. Ti voltatok. Ők voltak. Ők voltak. Alright, and here are the future forms. Én leszek. Én leszek. Te leszel. Te leszel. Ő lesz. Ő lesz. Mi leszünk. Mi leszünk. Ti lesztek. Ti lesztek. Ők lesznek. Ők lesznek. So, there you have it. These are all the forms and examples of the verb to be in Hungarian. Thanks for sticking with me. See you next time. Legyen béke a földön. Oh, bloody hell, that's another form.
Crazy! This language is...